Hey Tiana. Yes, Sonic? Do you remember that long time ago, back in 2011? Oh, the one time that we used to have the Super Nintendo one time. Um, yes, absolutely, with Super Mario All-Stars? You mean like a combo pack? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I still remember that time. Yeah, while we first met up with Buzz and Woody. So even then though, that we did usually play the Super Nintendo most of the time. Unfortunately, we didn't have many games on that system because due to Nintendo Wii's Virtual Console re-release versions. Well, at least specifically though, Tiana, is that I've heard from Nintendo interviews out there that they're going to be shutting down the, well, not during right about now, but until next year. Oh, don't you mean the Wii Shop channel is going to be closing services? Well, that's a bit sad. I kinda miss those old days. Yeah, me too. Especially consist of how the fact that how great the Nintendo Wii is, especially where they actually include the introduction to the Virtual Console games. Yeah, I do miss those days. In fact, to be honest, still we got ourselves our Super Nintendo this time. Oh, is it like the ones in the original? No, it's entirely brand new. As you can see here, we got ourselves our Super Nintendo Classics Mini now. Oh, that's pretty cool there. So that means that we can now finally play multiplayer to each other. Um, since the Super Nintendo Classics Mini comes with two controllers, and that means yes. Oh, sweet. So that means that we can play Super Mario World cooperating each other. Yeah. In addition to Super Mario Kart, yes, that's one too. And maybe Country 3 The Alien Wars? Well, good luck with that, because that could be really tough. Or how about, I don't know what's another Super Nintendo game? F-Zero? Yeah. And even, other games? Yeah, absolutely as well. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about the, Kirby Superstar to actually deal with, co-op play, I'm presuming? Maybe. I don't know if that's if. But anyways, I wonder how if Mario's doing or not. What the Christ is this? What's in this box though anyway? I don't know about you. Is that you, Mario, tossing it? Yes, it's probably me. I managed to pick this up and during the likes of, well, I did order it from, well, from Game. What is it then? Well, you should see until we find out. Okay then. In fact, how much money do we still got? We usually save up money for our Christmas money of any sort. I accidentally wasted all. What? So we're bankrupt. I'm afraid so. Great. That means we have to wait until Kirby Star Allies is about to be released on Amazon, especially with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze and etc. But, well, at least we'll get to that eventually, though. Yeah, at least we can still wait for 2 months' time, so, you know. Okay then, so let's see what's inside this box then. Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm Tiana here, and me, Mario, just like in the old times, doesn't it? Yeah, when you two used to play Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 on the Wii, but that was back in a long time ago, Tiana. That was about 7 years now. So, anyways though, welcome for some more of the Maxi Toys videos, of course, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new, let's just say, and yet another console unboxing, because last time we did the console unboxing videos was actually the double bill, which is obviously PlayStation Vita 2016 rendition, well, despite the fact that it was actually used condition, and in addition to Super Nintendo Classics Mini. Oh, don't forget Nintendo Switch, Sonic. Oh, right, thanks for pointing it out. But, yeah, if you couldn't tell from the title, we are going to be doing the unboxing video of this particular box. I can assuming that, the answer to this solution is the new Nintendo 3DS XL Super Nintendo Edition. I did not notice it actually has that. Yeah, but even then, you might as well see until we open it. So even then, it did came today in the likes of, the 15th of January. So even then though, that's, eventually I might come back into Sonic Forces eventually. So even then, we'll just get this thing open and see how it plays out. Alright, so we've laid out the table yet again, just like how it does in last time, which is in forms of Christmas 2017 video. So even then though, we'll just get this thing started, shall we? Now, before we get started with the actual opening of the actual new Nintendo 3DS XL, the Super Nintendo counterparts, that, as you can tell, we ordered it from Game. That's only because that we still have managed to got ourselves our 3DS XL right there. You know, back in 2016 that we usually got this thing up for almost about 2 years or so. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just the fact that I really love the form factor about. Compared to the original 3DS, that was usually a little bit tad small to hold, but this looks so much comfortable to hold in my opinion, just because of for the sake of like, first off, lack of sharp edges and all that stuff, because it's now curved and everything. So even then though, there's a pretty nice little rendition of the 3DS, and I've been using that for ever since, you know, October 2016, for those of you watched the 3DS unboxing, or the Nintendo 3DS XL unboxing video back in the day. So even now if you want to check that out. So, yeah, and I've noticed something. If you ever played, let's just say Super Mario Maker for the 3DS, Pokemon Ultra Moon, and Pokemon, Kirby Battle Royale and Super Smash Bros. 3DS, there's this one annoying system where, specifically on the original 3DS models, excluding 3DS XL here, sometimes they always attempt to say, like, please wait, loading times, which even then, though, that can really kind of ticks me off for the most part, because I really want to get into the action, but I've heard that the new 3DS models did actually fix that addition. Plus, the addition to that, though, is that this particular 3DS does not have any sort of games to actually work upon back from, because I've noticed there's actually 2 or 3 exclusive new 3DS titles, which are Minecraft for the new 3DS, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, which I might pick this up until next couple of weeks until I get my money back. Because of this, though, I was still able to do a transfer system onto this thing, and similar to how it does it from, well, usually I'm going to sell this after the system transfer, I'm also going to be selling for the likes of this Nintendo 3DS NFC reader or writer, because I've noticed in the new 3DS XL models that normally it just gets a NFC built into it, so even then, though, we'll definitely check that out if we can. But the thing is about this particular NFC reader or writer, oh sorry, I just knocked the tripod in the camera, do apologize for that folks, but even then, that the only thing it kind of feels a bit bothering to me is that I always put that in a drawer somewhere, but even then though, that sometimes it's really hard to set it up right, especially noticeable, you have to aim the NFC reader or writer from the back of, you know this little black sensor thing right there, that normally the original 3DS and the new the 3DS XL, the original one, usually has one of those. So, but even I know it's a really great system, don't get me wrong, but I've noticed that the new 3DS is now taking over for when it comes to selling points and all that stuff, and plus in the 3DS XL only has like 2, or actually 3 lock position stuff. So even then though, that that's quite a lot, but even then though, that still we're going to be selling this until after we're done with this transfer system stuff. But even then though, really great model of the 3DS. So let's just send these ones back. And of course, that if you probably know something, we still have the original box of the actual 3DS XL. So even then though, that we'll get to the actual point here. So anyways, without further ado, let's get this opening, shall we? So even then though, that we usually grab the scissors from here, so even then, let's just get to the actual unwrapping, or in this case, the actual, you know, trying to get into this kinds of stuff. So even then, yeah. Okay. Let's get this open, shall we? Even then, this is actually the second 3DS unboxing video, because ever since the 3DS XL, for, again, last 2 years ago, or actually about a year and 3 months, I could assuming. Yeah, I'm thinking it might be right on that one, Tiana. But even then, both Twilight Sparkle and Duffy and Rosalina especially. Oh, it's actually just missing tape there. I do apologize for that. Even though the unboxing videos wasn't going to be exactly the most exciting part, but hey, at least it comes to the goods. Okay, so we got everything else, so let's just take this out. And it seems as likely we got some airbags. You know what, forget it. So, let's see if this is information. It's just a receipt. I'm not going to show you through all that. And here it is. Get this box out of the way. And here it is. There's the new Nintendo 3DS XL, the Super Nintendo counterpart. As you can see, it looks remarkably similar, if I can grab that for a second. it looks remarkably similar to the actual Super Nintendo slash Super Nintendo Classics Mini, because these two products, I'm assuming those both did release on the exact same year in 2017. But even then, as far as I've noticed that this particular 3DS comes first before the Super Nintendo Classics Mini came after that. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but even then, that's all when it comes to the goods on that department right there. So, we barely used this for a little bit, but even then, it's just for a demonstration of how the fact this will actually work upon. So, yeah, the reason why we got ourselves the new 3DS XL is because, again, we do love the original 3DS XL, don't get me wrong, because of the comp factor is a little bit more comfortable than the smaller models, I should say. But even then, though, let's just see how this looks like. So it looks very retro looking, especially it's more likely somewhat similar to how it does in Super Nintendo Classics Mini box. So even then, that's pretty cool. And of course, unfortunately, although, first before I get to that notification there, once again it's PEGI 7 because, you know, that means it's like the 3D effects will come in. So even then, it's all we can get. And unfortunately, much like how it does it in the 3DS XL, the original model of the XL, including the likes of the original 3DS, new Nintendo 3DS models, unfortunately the HC adapter once again is not included. Luckily though, we still managed to have one ever since, well, almost around the same day as we got the 3DS XL, the blue and black one. So even then, that we're still able to actually use this. So because of that though, without it, then we're gonna have to buy it separately. So anyway, so let's take a look at the side here. There's a continuation of the imagery of the new 3DS XL, the Super Nintendo formation. And we probably noticed right off the get-go that there's going to be some slightly changes, what I've noticed, but we'll get to that in a second, a little bit later. So, PEGI 7 usually contains violence, and I do apologize if my focus is actually not working. There we go. So even though we have to constantly tap in screen. So, it does support compatibility with the software, the 3DS software, Nintendo DS, and the DSi software. So, of course, unfortunately, the 3DS was region locked, so as you expected for Nintendo's department, well, every now and then is that the Nintendo Switch now actually has region free now, so I do love credits too. So these contain sets which we have new Nintendo 3DS XL System, Super Nintendo Entertainment System Edition. So yeah, this is one of these rare variations of the new 3DS. It might be really hard to find at this point in time. And of course, we got ourselves the new Nintendo 3DS XL stylus, sorry for a little bit of a kick up the table, and 4GB micro SD card, AR cards of course, and instruction manual. But unfortunately though, as you probably already know, the AC adapter is not included, but even then, that's just pretty dumb from Nintendo's part. So anyways though, let's get this open. So, oh yeah, we haven't showed you this, didn't we? So yeah, as you can see, that looks very old school looking. We're going back into the red Nintendo banner instead of the grey traditional Nintendo logo there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Alright, so I haven't really, although I've seen the unboxing videos for this, but even then though, the American version also has one of these, but even then, they got themselves the different color compared to our country. So even then though, that makes it a little bit of a, you know, a huge difference as what I've noticed. So, anyway, so let's get this side open. Again, it wasn't exactly the most profitable unboxing videos for quite some time, but we'll keep the box though anyway, so we'll put that to the side. Of course, much like in any other 3DSs, you do get yourselves the instruction booklets, including AR cards. We still managed to have one of these still, which even then though, that you can get like a question mark block, Mario, Toon Link, specifically Link, Kirby, Samus, and Pikmin. So these are pretty much the same, none unchanged or anything. So even then, might as well have to like sell these when it's like sealed because we already opened them up. So even then, I'm not going to show you for all that stuff again. But here comes the main part, which is the system itself. Because assuming if we actually just decide to open this, there we go. Ooh, looks a lot more heavier than if I can at least grab the 3DS XL quickly, is that it feels a little bit heavier, but let's see how its weights compare the two. Wow, I gotta say, this one's pretty heavy, but we'll open that later. But of course, we'll just have to put that away to the side. Alright, so let's get this baby out. Oh man, I'm really loving this so far. It's much more shinier and cleaner than what I've used to. Because even then though, in the original the 3DS XL one, that usually has like for the most part it contains like a shiny part on the top part, and then in the inside it's more likely matte finish. So even then though, no glossy parts except the screens themselves. So want to mention that about a little bit later. So here's the actual 3DS, the new Nintendo 3DS XL looks like. It looks very, very cool. Of course, it gets fingerprints every now and then, but we'll try to be very cautious with this kinds of stuff. So, as you can see, it looks very similar to how it does it on the Super Nintendo actual console. We got the power switch, eject button, and the reset button. But of course, it's still imagery, so yeah, not bad. And of course, as you expected for a new 3DS, we got ourselves the L and R still present, and we got ourselves the addition to ZL and ZR buttons this time. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And let's take a look at the back real quickly, even though it might be a little bit of a wrong way around. But anyway, that's how the original cartridge slot usually placed out on the Super Nintendo system. Yeah, really loving this. So, of course, fingerprints will cover it everywhere, so we'll get used to that. So, of course, if we open it up, it has the exact same sounds as how it does it on the original 3DS XL model. And of course, we got a cleaning film, which might be really good for a bit of screen protection. Look at that. I'm really loving this so far. Way more detailed than the ones where we used to have. We got ourselves a volume slider, which is now moved up to here now. And in addition to, well, the 3D slider was still there, which, you know, still present as always. And we got ourselves these configurant button placement this time. We got ourselves a circle pad, which might actually feel a little bit accurate this time. And the D-pad is all in colored gray. The home button is actually the actual official home button now on this particular side, as opposed to in the previous versions of the 3DS. Normally the start and select buttons were there, but now it's moved into there, very much like the DSi or the DS Lite. So yeah, pretty cool. And we got ourselves these color different color codings of the actual buttons themselves, X, B, and Y, and X, A, and B, and Y buttons. Which kind of looks a bit, it looks very similar. If I can grab this for a second there, I'll have to hold this really, really awkwardly if I have to grab the Super Nintendo controller quickly. Yeah, it looks very similar, but even then, that's as you expected for a Super Nintendo reference. But yeah, pretty cool. And in addition to that though, this is actually, we got ourselves RC stick, which appears to be a second analog stick, which we're normally trying to get the Circle Pad Pro for the 3DS XL, but it might be seems really hard to find though these days. But even then, really, really loving this. And I believe it has the exact same 3-lock system as how it does it in the 3DS XL does. But even then, that's really cool. But anyway, I'm not gonna go for all the settings again because we might do this on our own time. But we'll show us the quick comparison between the 3DS XL and the new 3DS. So even then, though, we'll meet you guys back in just a moment. Actually, before we move on, there's something I'm completely missing on something. It's the forms of, well, there's a game card in here, and the headphone jack was in the center, and the stylus is now in a different place. It's actually in the front this time, so let's see how this stylus actually holds up to be. So I've heard that it's actually pretty nice and accurate too. It's pretty cool. And finally, we got ourselves these, the mic is still there, so even then it's kind of as you expected. And we got a power button here, and this is where you charge your new Nintendo 3DS and a wireless light. So, yeah, pretty cool. So anyways, let's just see the comparison. So here we are, folks. I managed to recently discover that I managed to transfer all of our rest of our data onto the new 3DS XL, as you can see here. I just put in a, you know, Mario Party, the top, no, not the top 100, Mario Party Island Tour on here, so I can give us a demonstration how this game will be felt on the new 3DS. And then the rest of the 3DS XL is now pretty much empty. So even then, let me tell you right off the bat though, the system transfer I've just noticed on my own time is a freaking nightmare, as you can tell, because you're gonna have to use the screwdriver until you're able to actually just took out the bottom part or underneath the new Nintendo 3DS XL. So that's because of how the micro SD card was actually in there. But until when the new Nintendo 2DS XL exists, that the micro SD card was actually on the front part next to the game cartridge. But even then, this is how the actual comparison looks in the 3DS XL, the original, and the new Nintendo 3DS XL. It looks pretty much almost identical between each other, except the fact that, well, Obviously, the one thing I actually noticed right off the get-go is that the new 3DS model actually retains the auto brightness setting. So you can know that if you play this game or if you play the system anywhere else, like for instance if you're in the dark, I'm assuming that the new 3DS XL will become brighter, and then if it goes like pure light, then it just tones it down for a bit. So, and as for this, it just doesn't have the auto brightness setting. So you can know that yeah, it takes a couple of minutes to able to deal with this the system transfer stuff. But apart from that, though, we actually did that pretty well. Because if you look up on the Nintendo.com video, if I want to put in the link description down below the video, see if you understand what the new Nintendo 3DS transfer system goes. So yeah, I will gonna miss this old 3DS XL, but even then though, because I had a lot of fun with it back then, especially consist of that I had this for almost 2 years. But now we're moving on to the new generation of the 3DS, and that's the new Nintendo 3DS XL. Well, granted, the new Nintendo 3DS has been out for almost 3 years at this point, since around the same time as when The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D exists. But even then, that's as far as release dates goes, it's been almost 3 years, so ever since 2015. So, hope you guys enjoy the unboxing video of the new Nintendo 3DS XL, specifically the Super Nintendo Entertainment System edition of that system. So this is me, Mario, and Sonic the Hedgehog, and Tiana here, if I haven't shown me on the spotlight. But yeah, I really can't wait until I try to get my hands on probably Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, because I've heard that game was actually a really great RPG, and plus Shulk's appeared on that game, so even then I'm really excited to actually try out well, not so much for the Super Nintendo stuff, because I've already got the rest of the Super Nintendo games on the, specifically for the original Wii console and the Wii U stuff. And plus, not to mention the Super Nintendo Classics Mini now. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing video. So, yeah, tune me next time of the rest of the continuation of Sonic Forces Let's Play. And me for the likes of NES remakes. And we don't know for Tiana though, because we need to get some plans for her to actually do something. So anyway, see you guys next time. Ciao.